Hello students, I am Nisha Chauhan, TGT Science from KV BHEL Haridwar. We are going to take a new lesson from Science class 10th, that is chapter 8, How do organisms reproduce? Reproduction. As you know, all the living organisms grow old with time and remains alive on the earth for a limited period of time and then die. So, new organisms have to be produced in place of those who die. The production of new organisms from the existing organisms of the same species is known as reproduction. Reproduction is essential for the survival of a species on this earth. If organisms do not reproduce, their population decreases and species will become extinct. Actually, reproduction ensures continuity of life on earth. Do organisms create carbon copies of themselves? A basic event in reproduction is the creation of DNA copying. The DNA molecules in the chromosome in the nucleus is responsible for the transfer of characters from the parent to the offspring. During reproduction, the reproductive cells produce two copies of the DNA which separate into two cells. The DNA copies will be similar but not identical to each other. So, the new individual have slight variation from their parents. This is the basis for variation in and evolution of new species. This inbuilt tendency for variation during reproduction is the basis for evolution. The importance of variation. Variation is useful for survival of species. DNA copying during reproduction is important for maintaining the body design of different organisms to survive in the existing environment, but the environment is constantly changing due to changes in temperature, climate, water levels, etc. If organisms cannot adjust themselves to the changes in the environment, then their species will become extinct. If there are variation in some individual of a species, they may be able to survive the changes in the environment. So, variation in species is necessary for the survival of different species and for the evolution of new species. For example, if there were a population of bacteria in temperate water, and if the water temperature were to be increased by global warming, then most of the bacteria would die, but the few variants resistant to heat would survive and grow further. This is the importance of variation. It gives more capability to survive in the changing environment. There are many different ways in which new organisms are produced from their parents. Some organisms like amoeba just splits into two parts to produce new amoebas, while some organisms like hydra and yeast grow out of the parent's body in the form of a bud. All the different ways of reproduction can be divided into two main groups: asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction, the production of a new organism from a single parent without the involvement of sex cells is called asexual reproduction. And sexual reproduction, the production of a new organism from two parents by making use of their sex cells is called sexual reproduction. Types of sexual reproduction. There are 6 types of asexual reproduction. They are fission, budding, regeneration, fragmentation, spore formation, and vegetative propagation. Fission. A unicellular organism divides and forms two or more new individuals. In the process of fission, a unicellular organism splits to form two or more new organisms. There are two types of fission. First is binary fission. Binary fission is an asexual method of reproduction of organisms. In binary fission, the parent organism splits to form two new organisms. For example, in amoeba. Amoeba reproduce by binary fission by dividing its body into two parts. When the amoeba cell has reached its maximum size of growth, then first the nucleus of amoeba lengthens. And divides into two parts. After that, the cytoplasm of amoeba divides into two parts, one part around each nucleus. In this way, one parent amoeba divides to form two similar amoeba. Multiple fission. Multiple fission, one organism divides into many daughter cells. Example, Plasmodium. In Plasmodium, inside the cyst, the nucleus of cells splits several times to form many smaller nuclei called daughter nuclei. Little bits of cytoplasm collect around each daughter nuclei and thin membranes are formed around them. Many new daughter cells are formed from a single parent cell. Budding. Next method is budding. In this method, a bud-like projection is formed on the body of the organism. The bud then develops into a new individual. It then separates from the parent and forms an independent individual. Examples are Hydra and yeast. Let's take an example of Hydra. Hydra is a simple multicellular animal. In Hydra, first, a small outgrowth called bud is formed on the side of its body by the repeated meiotic division of its cells. This bud then grows gradually to form a small hydra by developing a mouth and tentacles. And finally, the tiny hydra detaches itself from the body of the parent hydra and lives as a separate organism. That is budding. Next, third type of asexual reproduction is regeneration. What is regeneration? In this method, a part of the body of the organism, if cut or broken, can develop into a new individual. Examples are Hydra, Planaria, starfish, etc. In Planaria, there is a picture of Planaria, regeneration in Planaria. Planaria is a flatworm which is found in freshwater ponds. Planaria possesses great power of regeneration. This Planaria worm somehow gets cut into 3 pieces. After a certain time, each cut piece of the body of Planaria worm grows into a complete Planaria worm. Hydra is also shown regeneration. Next type of asexual reproduction is fragmentation. What is fragmentation? Fragmentation. In this method, the body of a simple multicellular organism breaks up into smaller pieces on maturation, and each fragment develops into new individual. Example, Spirogyra. Let's see the example. Spirogera is a green filamentous algae plant which is found in ponds. If Spirogera filament breaks into two or more fragments or on maturation, each fragment then grows into a new Spirogera. This breakup of filament of a mature Spirogera on its own brings about asexual reproduction. And the main difference between fragmentation and fission is that in fission a unicellular organism breaks up to form two or more daughter organisms, whereas in fragmentation a multicellular organism breaks up to form two or more daughter organisms. Next type of asexual reproduction is spore formation. Spore formation, in this method, structures called sporangia produce tiny cells called spores. When the spores come in contact with a moist surface, it develops into new individual. Examples are Rhizopus, Mucor, and Penicillium, etc. Let's take an example. The tiny spores of Rhizopus or bread mold. Rhizopus is also called bread mold, are almost always present in the air. If we keep a moist slice of bread aside for a few days, then the spores of bread mold plant present in the air settle on the moist bread and germinate to form new fungus plants. Next type of asexual reproduction is vegetative propagation. Vegetative propagation, in this method, new plants are produced from the vegetative parts of the plant like roots, stem or leaf. Examples from roots are Dahlia, sweet potato, from stem, potato, ginger, from leaf, Bryophyllum and Begonia. Plants produced by vegetative propagation produce flowers and fruits earlier than those produced from seeds. It also helps in the propagation of plants which do not produce seeds like rose, jasmine, banana, etc. Vegetative propagation can also be done artificially by cutting, layering and grafting. Artificial propagation of plants. The process of growing many plants from one plant by man-made methods is called artificial propagation of plants. The three common methods for artificial propagation are cutting, layering and grafting. Cutting. A small part of plant which is removed by making a cut with a sharp knife is called cutting. Examples are rose, bougainvillea, grape, sugarcane, etc. As shown in figure, a cutting of the parent plant having some buds taken and its lower part is buried in the moist soil. After a few days, the cutting develops roots and shoots and grows into a new plant. Examples are rose, bougainvillea, grape, sugarcane, etc. Next type of artificial vegetative propagation is layering. In this method, a branch of the plant is pulled towards the ground and a part of it is covered with moist soil, leaving the tip of the branch exposed above the ground. After some time, new roots develop from the part of the branch. Let's take an example. A branch of the plant is pulled towards the earth and of the parent plant pulls toward the earth and buried in moist soil. The part of the branch which are buried in soil grow their own roots. This happens, the branch of the parent plant connecting the newly formed plant are cut off so that the newly formed plant may grow on their own and develop into mature plant. This is called layering. Next method of vegetative propagation is grafting, artificial vegetative propagation. In this method, it is a method in which the cut stems of two different plants are joined together in such a way that the two stems join and grow as a single plant. The cut stem of a plant having roots is called stalk. The lower part of the plant is called stalk, that having roots, and the cut stem of another plant without roots is called scion. Scion is the upper part of a plant. In carrying out grafting, two plants are chosen which are to be used as scion and stalk. First, the stem is removed from the plant chosen to be made scion for its desirable characteristic by making a slanting cut. This gives us scion. The stem of second plant to be used in grafting is also cut in a slanting way. The lower part of the plant, the stalk. The scion is placed over the stalk and fitted and bound together tightly with a piece of cloth or covered properly. The cut soon heals and stalk and scion of two plants grow together and become one plant. Apple, peach, apricot and pear trees are often grafted. Tissue culture. Tissue culture, the production of new plants from a small piece of plant tissue removed from the growing tips of the plant in a suitable growth medium is called tissue culture. First, a small piece of plant tissue is taken from the growing point of the plant tip and placed on a sterile jelly which contains nutrients and plant hormone. The hormone makes the cell in the plant tissue divide rapidly, producing many cells which form a lump of mass called cellus. The cellus is then transferred to another jelly containing suitable plant hormone which stimulate the cellus to develop roots. The cellus with developed roots is then put on another jelly containing different hormones which stimulate the development of shoots. The cellus having roots and shoots separate into tiny platelets. In this way, many tiny plants are produced from just a few original plant cells. The plantlets thus produced are transplanted into pots or soil where they can grow to form mature plants. That's all about the asexual reproduction. And one benefit of tissue culture technique, it increases for the production of ornamental plants like orchids, dahlia, etc. Sexual reproduction in flowering plants. First, reproductive parts of a flower. The stamen and pistil are the reproductive parts of the flower. Stamen is the male reproductive part. It produces pollen grains in the anther, which contains the male germ cells called male gametes. Pistil is the female reproductive part. It produces ovules in the ovary, which contain the female germ cells or female gamete. The main part of a flower are receptacle, sepal, petal, and stamen and carpel. Pistil. Receptacle. The base of the flower to which all the parts of a flower are attached is called receptacle, sepal. The green leaf-like parts in the outermost circle of a flower are called sepal. All the sepals taken together are called calyx. Petals. The colorful part of a flower are called petals. The petals lie inside the sepal. All the petals taken together are called corolla. Then stamen. Stamen, the little stalk with swollen top just inside the ring of petals in a flower are called stamen. Stamen is the male reproductive organ of a plant. Stamen produces pollen grains. The stamen is made up of two parts, anther and filament. The stalk of the stamen is called filament and the swollen top of stamen is called anther. Carpel or pistil. In the center of a flower, there is a flower-shaped organ called carpel. Carpel is the female reproductive organ of the plant. A carpel is made up of three parts, stigma, style and ovary. Stigma is for receiving the pollen grain from the anther of stamen. Stigma is sticky so that pollen can stick to it. The middle part of the carpel is called style. Style is a tube which connects stigma to the ovary. The shallow part of the bottom of a carpel is called ovary. The ovary makes ovules and stores them. Flowers are of two types. The flowers which contain only one sex organ, either stamen or carpel, are called unisexual flower, while the flowers which contain both the sex organs, stamen as well as carpel, are called bisexual flowers. Papaya and watermelon plants are unisexual flowers, while hibiscus and mustard plant are the example of bisexual flowers. Next is pollination. Pollination is the transfer of pollen grains from the anther to the stigma of a flower is called pollination. It takes place by wind, water or insects. If the pollen grains are transferred from the anther to the stigma of the same flower, it is self-pollination like this. And if it is transferred from the another of one flower to the stigma of another flower, it is cross-pollination. Cross-pollination. This is example of cross-pollination. Next is fertilization. After the pollen grain is transferred to the stigma, it produces a pollen tube. It produces a pollen tube which passes through the style and enters the ovary and ovule. In the ovule, the male germ cell fuses with a female germ cell to form a zygote. This process is called fertilization. After fertilization, the zygote divides several times and forms the embryo, which then develops into seed, and the ovary develops into fruit. Fertilization occurs when the male gamete present in pollen grain joined with the female gamete present in the ovule. A male gamete means pollen grain moves down to pollen tube. The pollen tube enters to the ovule in the ovary. The tip of the pollen tubes burst open and male gametes come out of pollen tube. In ovary, the male gamete of pollen combines with the nucleus of female gamete to form a fertilized egg called zygote, and we say that fertilization has taken place. The fertilized egg divides several times to form an embryo within the ovule. Then the ovule develops a tough coat around it and converts into the seed. The ovary of flower develops and becomes a fruit. Reproduction in human beings. First, male reproductive system. The male reproductive system consists of a pair of testes which produces the male reproductive cells called sperm and the hormone testosterone. It is contained in sac-like structures called scrotum. From each testis arises a tube called vas deferens. It joins into the urethra. The urethra is enclosed in a muscular organ called penis. It has an opening called genital pore. The seminal vesicle and prostate gland produce fluids which provide nutrition and help in the movement of the sperm. Female reproductive system. The female reproductive system consists of a pair of ovaries which produces the female reproductive cells called ova or eggs and the hormone estrogen. Above the ovaries are tubes called oviducts or fallopian tubes. The two oviducts unite in a bag-like structure called uterus. The uterus has an opening called vagina. Fertilization in human beings. Fertilization. The fusion of male gamete with a female gamete to form a zygote during sexual reproduction is called fertilization. In human being, internal fertilization takes place. The sperm made in the testes of the man are introduced into the vagina of a woman through penis during mating. In this way, millions of sperms are released into the vagina at a time. The sperms are highly active and mobile. The sperms move up through cervix into the uterus. From uterus, the sperm passes into the oviduct. One of the oviducts contains an ovum or egg cell released by the ovary during ovulation. Only one sperm fuses with the ovum in the oviduct to form a zygote. This is called fertilization. The fertilization of the ovum takes place in the oviduct. When the ovum is fertilized in the oviduct, then a zygote is formed. The zygote divides rapidly by mitosis as it moves down in the oviduct and forms a hollow ball of cells. This hollow ball of cells called an embryo. It sinks into the soft and thick lining of the uterus and gets embedded in it. The embedding of embryo in the thick lining of the uterus is called implantation. After implantation, a disc-like spatial tissue develops between the uterus wall and the embryo, which is called placenta. The exchange of nutrients, oxygen and waste products between the embryo and the mother takes place through the placenta. Menstruation. The ovary produces one egg every month and the uterus prepares to receive the fertilized egg. Its wall becomes thick and spongy with blood vessels for nourishing the embryo. If fertilization doesn't take place, then the uterus wall breaks and comes out of the vagina as blood and mucus. This cycle takes place once every month and is called menstruation. Next is reproductive health. First is sexually transmitted diseases. The diseases which are spread by sexual contact with an infected person are called sexually transmitted diseases or STD. Some of the common sexually transmitted diseases are gonorrhea, syphilis, and AIDS, acquired immune deficiency syndrome. Gonorrhea and syphilis are bacterial sexually transmitted diseases, while AIDS is a viral infection disease, and Warts is also a viral infection. Then prevention of pregnancy, birth control method. The prevention of pregnancy in women is called contraception. Pregnancy can be prevented by three main methods. They are barrier methods, chemical methods, and surgical method. In barrier method of preventing pregnancy, the physical device such as condoms and diaphragm are used, while in chemical methods of preventing pregnancy, the female use two types of pills, oral pills and vaginal pills. Surgical methods of birth control are available for males as well as females. In males, a small portion of the sperm duct or vas deferens is removed by surgical operation and both the cut ends are tied properly. This prevents the sperm from coming out. The surgical process carried out in males is called vasectomy. In females, a small portion of oviduct is removed by surgical operation and the cut ends are tied. This prevents the ovum from entering into the oviduct. The surgical procedure carried out in females is called tubectomy. That's all about the how do organisms reproduce. Thank you.